Good afternoon, Judy, Allan here, San Antonio, Texas, and whoop whoop. We've got my regular computer system working today. Yay! So there we go. So we're here in San Antonio, Texas, in the winter with 80-degree weather. How about that? Looking forward to a little bit cooler winter, but that's okay. We'll take what we get. So today we're going to be making 5-minute, quick and simple Valentine cards, right? Whether it's you're going to give it to your favorite peeps, whether you're making cards for children in the hospital, or you're just giving to friends. It doesn't matter. Quick and simple, and that's the key to it, all right? So I'm going to show you several things that we could use. I'm only going to be using 3 of them, right? Because they're quick and simple, but I could have done some other things as well, too. All right, so, and the other thing is, we do have the Stamper Treat coming up, and we have just a few packets left. So if you haven't got yours yet and you want to join in on the fun, then you need to register now. All right, so let's go down the hands. Let me show you what we got going on today. Lots of stuff. So I did use the punch, and we're going to use the punch, but I wanted to show you because I'm using the owl too. But I could have just as easily used the hippos. I'm going to use the hedgehogs, but I could have as easily used this as well too, right? I am going to use the balloon on here. So those are some things I just wanted to show you because they are quick and easy to use. The paper that I'm using, because I don't have whole packets of paper because I did my paper share, this is in the new mini catalog, January through April 23rd. I'm on page 9, and this is the Country Floral lane down here, which we'll be using this, and I'll be using some of the Country Gingham, and we'll be using some of the ribbon too. So I don't have all of that handy because of the fact that I have used it through the paper share. So if you ever want to know what a paper share is, it's just we share paper. Alright, so someone asked me the other day, why would you use the mini embosser? And I do have the exclusive blue one because blue is my favorite color, and you can only get it now through Celebration. But I really like it on stuff like this. Alright, so when you open this up, it's not very big, right? So it's just easy to whip out and put something on it. Now this one, you can see I've got where I cut the hearts out. And I just had to lay it up here. And I just laid all these dies down, ran it through here, and these are all cut in one sweep. And that's what you see right here. So I cut all these little hearts we're going to be using all in one sweep. Same thing here. All I did was flipped it over. And this is just scrap paper I use. And I loaded it up with hearts, ran it through just one time. So this is the beauty of these is you can just run it through more than one die. Because these were all, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I ran 9 dies through at one sweep, right? And I did it because I had scrap paper and I just need something small. So and I did it with this also, so you can see me use this. And again, I had to use my scrap paper. Now, the only thing about something like this is when you have something tight like this and you're going to run it through, I used a Post-it note to hold this down because I didn't want it shifting, but I wanted to use my scraps, right? So I just used a Post-it note to hold this down as I run it through the die cutting machine. So it just makes it a lot easier, and I like it because it's light and easy to carry with me, and it's just easy for me to pull it over here and do some die cutting, all right? So what you can see is not only did I do some die cutting with all these hearts, but I also did some fussy cutting for our little owl. Some other tips I want to show you that I did before we even get started is I just went ahead and stamped out colors so I could see what I wanted. So in the hedgehog, I'm going to end up using this color brown right here. And then I was just eliminating colors. So that's one of the things when you prepare for doing quick things is to make your choices ahead of time, so that you know what you want. Same thing with the owl. I did two different colors. One's crumb cake and the other one, I don't remember what color it was. But anyway, so I just tested so I knew what colors I wanted to use. And I knew I wanted to try out some different eye colors because I have a son that's got icy blue eyes like a husky. And I can't really get that color. But anyway, I get different colors. We got a lot of blue-eyed people in the family and they're all various colors. So I did fussy cut that. And then one item that I did here too is another quick way to make the cards and add something to it is a punch. And this is it's a Scotty punch. I can't remember what the official name of it is, but I know it's something Scotty's. You can just go through and punch a bunch of these to have them prepped and ready so you have choices. So while I'm doing the live with you guys today and showing you this, I'll be doing it with my team on Sunday. We'll be doing it through Zoom because we have people in different states on my team, as well as local people. So that's one of the things we'll do to make some quick ones. So let's make some. Let's get some stuff out and let's make some. Let me show you what we got. And I could have made more, right? We could always make more. So we are using the 1x. So I had the leftovers and I wanted to be able to use the 1x's, right? So this is a good way when you have leftovers, like I did. And I already know it's going to lay out like this, right? Now you do have to watch out for directional paper. This is directional paper here. It was a leftover. So when we did our paper share, I do it in 6x6s, right? And it just depends if you want one sheet of every design or if you want a quarter of a pack or half a pack, you know, is usually what we do. And so I'm just using my leftovers is what I'm doing. So I'm going to use the tape, my tape runner, put these down. And then we're just going to stamp an image right in the middle. And we're going to stamp some hedgehogs here, okay? And that's just quick and easy, right? And then we can stamp a message on here and we're done. So it's just a matter of laying this out how you want it. You know, some people like to do it. I'm going to space mine out because I'm going to try to put 2 hedgehogs in here. It's about Valentine's Day, and so I want at least one of them's got at least 2 hedgehogs, right? And so I've seen people also butt these up side by side. I have a teammate, she did hers, just butted them all up to each other. It's fine, right? It's your creation. You can do whatever you want. That's the beauty of it all. We all either do things just a little different, right? So as I prepare for the treat, and that's what we were working on yesterday, was working on some different designs. And that was one of the things is that it's like, man, there's like, when you're creating designs, different cards just like this, you can make it different ways, right? And you're going to see that. So we're going to be using the same design, but we're just going to use different paper. It's a great way to use scraps. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to add to it. Now, that one looks like I cut that one maybe too long. All right, so I don't sweat the small stuff. I'm going to put this here for the moment. Let me see if I can move this over just a little bit and see, get the look I'm looking for. If not, I'll just get my scissors and trim it, right? Because I assure you that if I sent this card to you, I'm just gently doing it. And I'm going to move this over just a little bit. See if I can get myself. I can't. So I'm going to have to trim that off, all right? So just don't sweat the small stuff. I most probably just measured it wrong, and that's okay. So I'm just going to take my scissors, and I am just going to come along right here. And you know what? And if it's not perfectly straight, guess what? It's an opportunity for creativity, which goes sort of different than my quick and easy. But that's all right. 5-minute cards, because all we'll do is we'll cover it up with something, all right? And I'll show you how we're going to do that. So I am going to stamp, and I've already got these ready to go. So I've got some, you know what, I am most probably not going to get 2 on here. I'm just going to be able to get 1, but that's okay, all right? So we're going to at least get 1 hedgehog on here, because I got 2. I have 2. I was ready for 2, and that's okay. So I'm just going to stamp it. Because we keep it simple, we're just trying to stamp, right? And get our design on here and move on. So what I liked about this, and let me do that one more time, because it looks like that one little spot I didn't stamp very hard on. Oops. Okay, if I have to color that in, I will. And that would be easy to do. Okay, so let me just go ahead and put that aside for the moment. All right, so what I wanted to do with this, I was going to go ahead and take that balloon that I just showed you with, let's see which one had the elephant here. So I'm going to put a little balloon up here. Doesn't have to be very big, right? We're just going to put a balloon here, if I can get it out. So really and truly, somebody asked the other day, how do you get these off? You got to get your fingernail right under here, because you had to adhere this right here. It's a label that you adhere onto these stamps here, and that's what makes it sticky to stick to the blocks. All right, so that's how that works. And I am actually going to sit up here and do this in black, and then I'm just going to put a red heart in here, but I'm also just going to, so if you want to sort of know how it's going to go, you should just position it like this, and this will fit just fine. And I'm just going to put it right here. And then I'm going to put a heart in the middle of it. Okay? And then we have a finished Valentine's card that we've just easily made just by stamping and putting the other down, right? Alright, so all I'm going to do is take a red heart out of my stash here where I made a bunch of hearts. And actually the easiest thing to do is, instead of trying to put it on the heart, just put it a dab there and then put the heart on top, okay? That's just a lot easier. And then I'm using, we have the new paper pumpkin come out, and I'm going to use some of these from here. So I'm going to put To My Valentine, and I'm going to put it in red, and then we're ready to move on. I already put that one on. Good. So if you have not subscribed to Paper Pumpkin has a lot of cute themes each month. This is the one for the month of January. So I haven't gotten into the kit yet. I just got it out of the mail, grabbed the stamps because I knew it was going to sit there and have Valentine stuff in it. Alright, so I just want to show you how you could mix your paper pumpkin as well with your other stuff, right? And there we go, To My Valentine. So we have a nice, quick, simple card. And we're going to move on to the next one, because these are all quick and simple. The paper's just quick and simple, and that's what we're looking to do, right? So I will have to sit there and do the hedgehog, touch its back up, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'll do that in a minute. Now, if I wanted to put something over here, how easy is that to put a heart? So we'll go ahead and put a big heart. So that'll cover, hello, Ashley. Yes, I am known as Nana. I've got a lot of things I'm known by. I am known as Nana, that's right. So the key to doing this one here is also you want to watch out for the directional. I'm going to go ahead and put it up, since I did that one, I'm going to put another one down here. You want to sit there and watch out for directional paper, right? Because if you look at the paper I have on here, it's directional. And what I mean by that, the hearts are going this way, right? So when you cut your paper, you'd want to make sure your hearts are going up and down. Same thing here. This paper is directional, so you're going to want to make sure. Okay, so we got one there, and we have one there, and I'll just put a little Wink of Stella. You know, it's not the quickest, so if you want to do your 5-minute cards, right, it's not hand dry, I might have to wait till it dries. Oh, I'm going to wait till it dries. But I would just go and put some Wink of Stella if you wanted to, and you can even put bling, but we're not. This is our simplest form, and we're going to move on to the next one. So our next one, I'll just show you the directional paper again, so I'll cut some of that out too, is here it is. You see that it's directional, alright? Same thing here. You can see that it's directional. Same thing here. This one looks a little directional too. See, if you put the hearts upside down, that's what it would look like. If you did the hearts sideways accidentally, that's what it would look like. So that's why when you cut directional paper, it's like fabric or anything else. You just want to make sure which direction you're cutting. Alright, let's go to our next card. Alright, so this one didn't have directional paper to directional designs. So same thing. Let's see if I got my measurements right on here. That one seems fine. I don't know what I did with that other one. Alright, same thing here. I'm going to space mine out a little bit, because on this one I'm actually going to use the Scotty. Whoop, whoop. And I'm going to do it right in here. So we're going to step this one up, right? So on this one I'm actually going to add a die cut and a punch. And we could add bling, right? But right now I'm really using hearts as my bling. Since I'm using Valentine's and all, I'm using really hearts as my bling, okay? So if you just wonder, that's what I'm really using as my bling. Again, I'm just sort of centering mine off. I don't butt mine up. I'm going to have to try that someday though. And I could have gone a little bit longer, but I didn't. I just like to use 4x1s. I could have maybe gone, because you got to keep in mind when you turn your card sideways like I do right now, my width of my card is now 5.5 inches, right? And then where I'm using my 3-inch strips, my 1x3s, this side is actually 4 1/4. So I'm actually just going to space it out a little bit more this time. See if that works any different. Like I said, I could just as easily butt them up, right? Or instead of using 1x4s, I could have used 1x4 1/4, and that might have tightened it up a little bit more. Okay, so these hearts do seem a little directional, so I'm just gonna sit there and position them accordingly. And I just mainly line up my squares, right? So I'm just making my square box. And then we're gonna use this cute little Scotty. So in this particular case, instead of just stamping, we're actually, oh, this has got a bigger gap. I'm not sure what I did. All right, but that's okay. We're gonna go with it, right? We're not gonna sweat the small stuff, because whoever gets this, unless they watch the video, they're not gonna know. Oh, so on this one, I went ahead and I die cut this, and I'm just gonna put this up with dimensionals. I really want the bigger ones. And then I'm gonna put the Scotty on here, right? Because the Scotty is just cute. And we'll put some hearts with it, because I know somebody that has not one but 2 Scotties, and they just both turned a year old. So I actually got to see them when they were tiny, and everything's so grown now. Oh yes, you know it, Linda. You're the person I'm thinking of with these Scotties. Oh yeah, you bet. All right, so now I'm gonna put my Scotty up here. Let me see if I should have stamped it first. Let's see, because I got Linda here. Let's see what I got. Well, she could still do to my Valentine. We can move the Scotty down a little bit, right? And I'll show you how we do that. All right, so I'm going to do to my Valentine. I'm going to put it to the left with a Scotty underneath, right? Because I am sure her little puppies could give her something for Valentine's. I would suggest doing this originally beforehand. You don't do as I do. Got too excited about the Scotties, and she's on here, so she knows I got Scotties going. Whoop, whoop, and talk about her babies all day long. So all I'm going to do then is I'm just going to set up, so since this is up on dimensionals, I'm going to put the back side of the Scotty on dimensionals, right? So it'll be the same height. And then the other side, I'm just going to sit up here and use this. And that's just a tip. So anytime you're sitting there and using different heights and you're crossing over different things you've created, you want to make sure, I got to take this off too. You got to make sure that to make it look right, you just want to put the dimensional on one side. So I'm just going to put the Scotty right here. And then I'm just going to sit up here and put a bunch of little hearts. Okay? And that's all I have to do. And I'm just going to do it with some glue. And like I said, I'm going to use the glue and dab it down. So this will be really quick. Just sit there and make for anybody. Because we've already, so the key to it is when you're going to make the quick cards and you're going to step it up, the key to it is what? We want to make sure we die cut and have everything that we want, everything we're going to want, right? I have hearts downstairs and gold and all that I'm going to use for future something. And there we go. We got a very cute Scotty card for my friend Linda. Whoop, whoop. All right, so the third card. Let's do the third card. The third card is not going to have a Scotty on it. All right, but we're still using this beautiful paper. And again, this is the same paper I already showed you. I'm using these right here. So I decided to change up the colors, right? Okay, so what I've done is I've gone ahead, in addition to cutting the 1 inch ones, I've gone ahead and this here, I'm going to put some ribbon through it, and this here will go right in the center. And this is a 1.5 by 2 3/4. That'll go perfectly in here. And the way to measure it, anytime you measure it, you just go from the inside of where this cut was here. And this is cut so you can feed ribbon through here. So I'm going to show you how we're going to feed some ribbon through here. So let me go ahead and get this down. That's a 1.5 by 2 3/4. And so I decided to change this up just a little bit this time. Instead of using the red paper, I figured I'd go with pink. It does have hearts over all of it, right? God bless you. So, yes, I am not the Lone Ranger in this house. I have other people and I have a dog. So, there you go. Alright, so this is very easy to feed ribbon through. Let's feed some ribbon through so you get the idea. I'm not going to use red most probably because I have no red in here. Alright. So this was something that I showed you on the page that was there. It'd be very easy to put this ribbon in here. Okay. So all you can do, you can do it either end, either side. I'm going to actually take this one here and I'm going to feed it through. So these areas that are die cut, you just can feed ribbon through. Now I could either do it this way, or I could have just as easily come over like this, all right, and just left it at the edge right there. And I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to leave it as an accent, I think, all right? So if you're just going to leave it as an accent, I'm just going to go ahead and trim that off right there, because I can put hearts on that, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead, since I'm just going to use it as the accent, I'm just going to tuck it back through here again. Now again, these are just 5-minute cards, but when you start accessorizing like I do right now, it's going to take more than 5 minutes, right? Because you're adding extra stuff. But the key to it is prepping. Prepping, prepping, and prepping. And lots of there's things that I have prepped already, just because I created it for something else, and while I was at it, I make extra while I'm at it. So, like this right here, I went ahead and made some extra ones because I had my little mini die cutter out. I had my scrap paper out. I just went ahead and made multiple ones where I'm at it, right? It just made sense as long as I had the time. All right, so that's going to go in the center. So let's go ahead and work around it. All right, so here's our easy, quick. And I'm gonna tighten these up. Okay, I'm gonna tighten these up and move them out from here. Okay, just so we can see how it works a little bit differently. And again, so it's just finding what floats your boat. You could just as easily, like I said, easily make these from 4x1s to, we could have done 4 1/4. And I'm just going to sort of center it up. So I still want white space, right? Let's see if I can easily do this. Just show you. I see this one, for whatever reason, I just feel like it's a smidgen off as height-wise. I just don't think it's a 3x1. Let me get my ruler out. It says it's 3. Just doesn't feel like it or look like it. So anyway, it's okay. We're just going to mess with the small stuff, and I'll go back down and space it back out down here. So I just have a little bit, whatever reason, a little extra gap. Okay, so let's get them down, because it's just using beautiful paper, right? Beautiful ribbon to step it up. And we'll put some hearts on here, right? And so this one, I'm going to actually use the owl. So the owl, again, is something I have already prepped, because I already know I'm going to be making several of these, because we're going to be making, like I said, we're going to be making Valentine's cards. We're not making any during the retreat. Somebody thought we were going to make some in the retreat. No, we're not. The retreat will focus on Easter, Mother's Day some, and then some of it's, like thank you cards, get well type cards, sympathy cards. It's a new year, and it's a great time to get ahead on some of those, right? Because it seems like everybody we know is having a birthday, right? If it's not a family member, it's a friend. And it's get well cards, thank you cards always come in handy. And so it's always just making a variety of cards. But when we do our retreats, I'll make designs and so forth, and you can do whatever you want. You can stamp whatever you want. You can change it around anywhere you want. My whole thing is I want to inspire you. So if you don't have what we're making, that particular stamp set or that particular, well, it's really stamp set, right? Because we already die cut everything for you. I'm going to have to move that over a little bit. So we die cut everything for you. We cut up everything for you. So really, you're assembling and you're learning some different techniques and all, versus learning how to cut paper or anything like that, because we give you directions and all. So I'm just going to leave that. I'm going to put something there. We'll just put something there. All right, so I'm going to put this one up on dimensionals just like I did a while ago, except on this one I am going to actually use the owl. We're going to use that owl that I colored and did. And these aren't the only things. I've got another one here I'm going to show you too that I'm not making today, that's quick and easy. black and white, and it's just, you know, you can use it Valentine's, you can use it for anniversaries, you can do it as a just because card. You know, we forget sometimes. I do this. I do just because cards. Now look how nice that looks. All right, all I did was just turn around and added this paper in the center. Just again, it's a 1 1/2, a 2 3/4. All right, and I'm gonna take this owl and I'm gonna put this owl right here, and I'm gonna put it up with some dimensionals. Now I'm gonna make sure I go over the ribbon. Right, I'm not gonna have my dimensional on the ribbon there. So those are some things and tips you need to know. Is like when you're gonna do this, make sure that you know that. And keep in mind when you're coloring and using the Stampin' blends that it may come through, so you'll make sure to have some paper or something underneath when you're coloring those. No different than when you do markers. Now I'm going to put one on the body right here, but did you see how I just made sure to see where it was going to be? Because again, I want to make sure that's not on the ribbon. I want it to be on the right of the ribbon. Looky there. Okay, so now we're going to sit there and I'm going to actually stamp this. Where's my stamp? To my Valentine. So I'm actually going to stamp this on a piece of white cardstock. Hopefully, if I don't have, I do have cardstock because here it is. Okay, so you may say, well, I've already colored on it. Yeah, I did, but guess what? I'm going to flip it over, and you're not going to know. Nobody's going to know unless you watch the video, and you can say, oh, I saw where she flipped that over. Okay, cool, you did. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp right on the back side back here. Where on the other side, I sat there and did the hedgehogs. And you say, well, you didn't cut it quite straight. It doesn't matter, right? Because all I'm going to do is I'm going to snip here, I'm going to snip here, and I'm going to just come and trim around the top, right? Because I still have hearts to put on here. And I'm just going to cut to get this out of the way. Take that apart. And I'm just going to come down here. And I'm just going to come around the bottom. Alright, so there you go. I just got a little around my Y there. So I'm just going to put this up here. But I'm first going to get my hearts because I want it to look like hanging out some hearts, right? So I'm just going to sit there and put this up on a small dimensional. So it'll have a little bit of height, but it's going to be a little bit lower, right? It's going to be a little bit lower than the owl. So that's the difference. So you're going to get a little bit lower height with the smaller dimensionals. So I'm going to stick that on there. Okay. So it's still going to be like right here. Alright, it's a little bit lower. Owl is higher. And then I'm just going to put this up here with some small lower dimensionals as well too. Alright, so I'm going to use about 3. But see, you can see when I sit there, even when I cut off from the other side, you can see there's not very much of the hedgehog showing anyway. It's hidden. So, only you and I know my secret to that. So, that's the advantages of watching the videos, as you can see what I did. So, I'm just going to stamp it right up here to my Valentine. Now, can I add more hearts? Add as many hearts as you want. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of hearts over here. And side by side. And again, I do that because guess what? It's much easier. And I'm just going to put this down right here. And I'm going to put another one right here. I could have used my pick tool to pick those up. That might have been easier for me. And right, I'm just going to sort of toss them to the side. And then I can put another one up over here. You know, we just try to keep the numbers odd, right? So I'm just going to put a couple over here. And we've got a finished card. I didn't put any ribbon on. Well, I did put the ribbon, just a little bit. But you can see how it really complements the owl. And I don't really have to do anything fussy. In fact, you can see I got it's like a medium size heart. I just put a little dab of glue there. And it will dry. So what I really like to do, and this is just me, and the cards are really quick and easy to make. I really enjoy just taking my Wink of Stella and making those hearts sparkle, right? So I'll do that afterwards. I just wanted to show you how you can make some quick and easy cards. So here's the one with the owl. Here is the one with the Scotty. And again, I used my paper pumpkin. Just came in the mail. paper pumpkin stamp set, and here's the first one that we did. So this one, you can see the difference. We made this one real simple. We just stamped, and we put our paper down, put some hearts on here. Then on this one, we actually did some die cutting and added the hearts that were already die cut and stamped, and added the Scotty. And then over here, we added a little ribbon. We did our fussy cutting with our Allan, coloring it, and we added some extra paper here too. So we added more layers, right? So that's what it's all about when we start simple and we step it up. Just keep on stepping it up, right? So I hope you enjoyed that. You know, it's a great time right now to go out there and make some cards, right? And give them to somebody, whether it's your friends, your peeps. It doesn't matter, right? It's all about creating, sharing, and giving. So that's what I want you to keep in mind. It's creating, sharing, and giving. So this video will also be posted on YouTube. We hope that you follow us and share us with others. And we're also, the cards themselves will be put on Instagram. And we hope you follow us there as well and share. So with that, be blessed. Have a total amazing week. And if you want to join in making cards for kids in the hospital, just message me and we'll get you included in and tell you some things that you can do. All right, be blessed and look forward to seeing you next week on Keep It Simple or Step It Up with Judy Allan here in San Antonio, Texas on Adventurous Stampin'. Bye.